If you were a musician 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, your efforts were primarily sort of focused around getting a recording contract. Nowadays, obviously all that's changed. Things have become pretty overwhelming for the average musician.
I think it'll actually be your competitive advantage if you're the one that knows to shut off the computer every night at 8 p.m. and spend the rest of the night actually practicing, fingers on a fretboard, singing arpeggios, working on lyrics, making them better instead of just shitting them out and getting back on Facebook, you know.
I think it's about how do you pierce that bubble of indifference. It's building blocks, isn't it? I mean, it's like the first thing I did was a film score, and then that introduces you to people in other fields, and then you land a commercial that gets on TV, and then a couple people see that, then all of a sudden you've got a reel. You know, it is important to have something to actually Twitter about or to Facebook about.
So the internet exists so you can find people to shake hands with, in my opinion. I mean, like nothing, it's wonderful that you have that tool that you can search for left-handed people who like white boy reggae, you know? I mean, it's wonderful that you can drill down. Well, I'm serious, I know that's a ridiculous example, but I mean, like any little weird niche or you know, to the point of perversion that you want to dig for on the internet, you can find. You can find a community for it.
There's such an overabundance of information in the digital age that niche is very important. So you can simplify your life by identifying either as an artist or an entrepreneur the niche that you fit in. And when you do that, inevitably you'll be associating yourself with a smaller group of people that have simultaneously identified with that niche. And it helps you to sort of culturally and monetarily break through because you are making a little cubby for yourself within this huge thing that's the internet.
He's asking if current marketing trends are about one-on-one connection with consumers, how can an artist hope to connect with millions of fans?
A lot of people, unfortunately, as soon as they get on the internet, they start thinking of big, giant crowds. And they think they have to address everybody as a crowd, and so they speak like a carnival barker. You know, next Thursday, 11:30 p.m., come one, come all, to the grandest show on earth! When nobody wants to be barked at, you know, nobody wants to be addressed as a crowd. Nobody is a crowd. Get into the habit of speaking to people one at a time instead of as a crowd, and it'll mean so much more to them, I think.
I think to me one of the most challenging things about running a business is that ultimately you have to pick a team of people that are going to help you attain your vision, and as an artist, one of the most challenging things you have to do is assemble a team around you to take your career to the next level. So I'd love to hear your tips on how to pick a team, not so much from the eyes of an artist, but from the eyes of an entrepreneur.
You gotta learn the phrase good enough, knowing that nobody will do it as good as you, but if they're doing it good enough, you just gotta say, all right, can't do it all, it's good enough.
The world has come to a loose network of, you know, individual contractors.
There's two ways that other people can help you. One is through their brilliance and their skill and their experience, and the other is who those people know.
The guy interviewing him had kind of come up alongside him, like, since way back, and said, you know, Moby, why is it that, you know, I know you, and I've known you forever, and you weren't the best of all of your peers. Why is it that you got so much more famous than they did? And I thought it was really cool that Moby had the answer. He said, you know, while all of my friends who were also musicians were out there, like, hanging up flyers on telephone poles, I was spending 3 hours a day trying to find a great publicist. And while they were hanging out more flyers, I was spending 3 hours a day trying to find a good publisher, a good label, and a good manager, and a good assistant. And he said it was work. It was really like 12 hours a week for a year I worked to build my team. But at the end of the year, they were still hanging up flyers on telephone poles, and I had my team. And he